Stephen Aryitey. This is a new day, and I bring you a word from the throne of grace. I am your friend in faith. I would like for you to take a minute this morning and consider something I call divine interruptions. The Bible records a story where Jesus, fresh from the triumph of rebuking a storm on the lake, and having delivered a man at the tombs of the Gadarenes, returns. The Bible says a crowd accosts him with expectancy, trusting for miracles, waiting to see blessings flow. A man who was a leader of a local synagogue by name Jairus goes a step beyond the crowd. And the Bible says he offers worship and then petitions, saying, "My daughter is dying. Come and heal her." Ever willing to answer prayer, Jesus follows Jairus and is willing to go to his home to save this girl of 12 years old who was threatened with death. But the Bible says as he's on his way, with the crowds almost crushing him, a woman comes up to him, subject to bleeding for 12 years, and no one could have healed her. This woman has received no help from any man. But the word declares in Luke 8 verses 43 to 44 and 45 that she comes up behind him and touches the edge of his cloak or his garment, and immediately her bleeding stops. Jesus turns around asking, "Who touched me?" Simon Peter, ever quick to quip without pondering or brooding over what he's about to say, says, "Master, the crowd is touching you, pressing on you on every side, and yet you say, 'Who touched me?'" Jesus responds, "Power has left me, and I know that somebody touched me." Then the word concludes the narrative saying that this lady steps forward and says, "I touched him." Beloved, what I want you to avert your mind to is this. Jesus is on his way to do one thing, and what he's about to do is good for one person. But there is a woman who says that I will interrupt this mission divinely and receive my miracle. Maybe there is a blessing designated for someone. There is a glory waiting for another person. But this morning, if you can have a mentality, a mindset of victory, a mindset that says that enough of my situation, I will divinely interrupt, I will lift my voice until I am heard. There is an ear from heaven that will hear your cry and stop until your answer is provided. The Bible says in the city of Jericho there was a man who was blind. His name was Bartimaeus. His father's name was Timaeus, meaning honor. For the son of honor had no vision and could not see. And the Bible says that Bartimaeus determined that he would cry out until Jesus heard him. Above the din, above the crowd, the cacophony of voices assailing his ears, the Bible says Jesus stopped in his tracks at the sound of a voice of a man who was blind but could articulate through his oral faculties and lift up his voice and divinely interrupt the assignment of Jesus. The Bible says he stopped. He called Bartimaeus and restored his sight. This morning there is hope for you also. If you will determine to divinely interrupt whatever the Lord is up to in this season, it is time to lift up your voice and brave the storm and break protocol and do something you haven't done before if you want to see the miracle you've never received before. I urge you this morning, rise up, cry out, change tactic, do something differently. Lift your voice until he hears you, for he is a God who hears prayer, according to Psalm 65 and 2. My name is Stephen Aryitey. I brought you this word from the throne of grace. It's a new day for you. Don't live it on yesterday's grace. Rise up, do something different, and divine interruptions will bring you divine answers. May God bless you. I will come your way again. Bye-bye.